What up, world? It's your boy Corey Joe, right here with the Gorillas Groove podcast. And today we got my guy KU. And he is a legendary figure around here in the city of Inkster, Michigan. And for those who don't know you, who is KU?
Oh man, who is KU? I think man, the best way to sum it up is serial entrepreneur, uh, music. Well, I'm gonna say underground music mogul because throughout my music career, I mostly deal with independent artists and things like that. Just kind of an industry tastemaker, man, that gets stuff done, man, from the small town of Inkster. That's all.
That's what's up. So look, I gotta start. All these years I know you, man. How in the heck did I just find out that you did anything with music?
Man, you know, a lot of people don't. So you can't even feel like, you really missed something, man. I've always kind of operated low key under the radar. I sit back and I watch people, man. I watch what people got going on. And and then kind of move accordingly, man. So, back in the day I rapped. A lot of people probably don't even know I was a rapper at one point, man.
Mm-hmm.
Back with Papa Drama, Nation, and
Straight up.
Ricochet. When all of them was bubbling and popping, man, I was out here doing my thing too. But I was more of always chasing the big dream. You know what I'm saying? I've never thought local.
Right.
So during that time, I was part of a group called the City Stars. Shout out to Big Gov. Shout out to V Styles. And we was chasing record deals, man. We stayed going back and forth to New York, stayed going back and forth to LA, because them was the hubs back then. You know what I'm saying? To where if you wanted to get on, that's where you had to be. So we was always circulating in those circles. You know what I mean? And I never actually put nothing out local.
Okay.
We would hit the studios, man. We used to record at places like Harmony Park, stuff like that, downtown Detroit. For those that don't know,
Okay.
I guess you could say, man, what I always looked at my career as kind of bougie, man. I wanted to. I always felt like I was on a certain level and wanted to be on a certain level. And then now people say like speaking into existence. Well, I was trying to speak it into existence way back
Yeah,
then. You know
that's
what I mean?
what's up. Yeah. All right, take us back. Ann Arbor to Inkster. What was young KU like?
I grew up in Ann Arbor first. It's kind of been like a split screen. So I started my journey off in Ann Arbor, man. We moved down to Inkster, eighth grade.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So from eighth grade, up until a few years ago, I've been a resident of Inkster. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And it was definitely different, man. For those of you who've ever been out to Ann Arbor, I mean, y'all know what it is. It's kind of a melting pot of culture.
Oh,
You know what I mean? It's a vast array of different lifestyles going on out there in Ann Arbor. Most people call it artistic. You know what I'm saying? Because people are just kind of free spirited and they kind of do what they want to do and whatnot. So Ann Arbor, man, was like that sense of freedom and that feel that you can do whatever you want to do and be whoever you want it to be.
yeah.
But then Inkster, man, was like that reality check. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was like that grit, that grime, that street. And I'm thankful for it because it kind of gave me the best of both worlds, and I think it's what molded me and allowed me to navigate like I do.
Okay. All right. Now, and tell me if I'm saying this right. Is it Klu or just KLU management?
It's Klu Management,
Okay.
and it's based off of my name. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And Klu Management is something that I started, about 20 years ago, man. After transitioning from being an artist, I went behind the scenes because most people thought I needed to be a manager and all that kind of stuff because of my knowledge of the business and just the way I handled myself. So, after I felt like I got a little too old to be chasing the artist thing, and just the countless years I put into it and all the money I spent not to see what I wanted to see out of it, man. It just kind of was a natural progression, man, into the behind the scenes and the management. And now it's grew from just management to marketing and promotion company as well with my partner KB from Milwaukee.
Okay, so before management, you was an artist. Tell me a little bit about that, about the music scene back then when you first stepped into it compared to now.
The music scene back then, so it was a lot of open mics back then. That was kind of a mainstay with the music. Everybody was, this was before all the internet age, of course. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no Instagrams and Facebooks and all of that. So you had to hand to hand everything. You was pressing CDs, you was pressing vinyl.
Right.
Um, and that's the way that you got it, man. You got it out the trunk. You had to ride around, you know what I'm saying, to get your notoriety and all that sort of stuff. You had to hit the little ciphers and the open mics to get your credibility up out here in
Yeah,
these streets.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And then it was just your affiliation with different crews and different people back then that kind of got your weight up, man, in the music industry. So, we came close to having a deal twice, man. We actually got flew out to New York, man, by the clothing designer Maurice Malone.
oh,
Back in the day, he had a label called Bullets and Gunsmoke. He had brought his artists out here for a showcase in Detroit,
mm-hmm.
and we had paid the DJ to play one of our records,
Okay,
and the DJ played the record. Maurice Malone's people heard it. He wasn't here at the time, but his people heard it. They was inquiring about who that was. The DJ told them, and pointed us out. They came and hollered us. They flew us to New York, man, and we sat down with Maurice out that back then, and it just didn't materialize because going out there and spending the weekend with him and his artists and everything, it was just kind of evident that he wasn't a music guy. He was a clothing guy,
right.
and the contracts that he wanted to sign us to at the time just didn't make sense. And see, I was always kind of like the spoil sport because I was always looking way ahead.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? My partners, though, at the time, Big Gov and V Styles, they felt a little bit different about the situation. They was mad at me, you know what I'm saying?
Real.
Because I didn't want to sign. But at the time, I was working at Ford, man. I was making
Making
50.
about the
I was
same
making
money.
like 50,000 a year, man. And for me to uproot and move to New York, man, for a contract that was gonna pay us like 50 to 75,000 that we had to split, it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
And you talking about uprooting yourself and moving to a whole new city and everything. And some people might look at it like, man, you should have chased that dream. You should have took that opportunity. But I think the second thing that held me back from even giving it a strong thought was the artist that he already had wasn't happy.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? They were complaining and things like that and talking about like they wasn't getting the support they felt like they needed. So that was strong in my decision making
Yeah,
as well. You know what I
I
mean?
bet. Yeah.
And then second situation, man, we had we were in talks with Universal Records.
Uh huh.
And we were getting ready to get flew out to California, man, for a meeting in like a showcase, and 9/11 happened.
Oh,
So 9/11 happened, and the main guy that was facilitating the situation, by the time all of the 9/11 stuff, man, the smoke had cleared, man, which if anybody remembered, it was like 6 months to a year
yeah.
before everything got back to like normal. And by that time, the dude had got let go. You know what I'm saying? Universal had made some changes. The dude was gone. He was our main connect, and that just kind of deteriorated from there.
Okay. All right. So basically, like artist, artist to executive. So look, how did being an artist actually shape you into being a manager?
So, um, here's probably the kicker, right? Being an artist turned manager is a little different than I think somebody that just like set out their career path to be a manager. Because now I get to look at things from both sides.
Right.
You know, and now I understand what I feel like an artist should be doing as an artist, and I understand what a manager should be doing as a manager.
Right.
And you know, most of the time, man, the artists they don't they don't want to be an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you, especially in today's age. So in today's age, artistry is, you know, is built around it's built around people getting to know who you are. That's
Okay.
the strongest. That's the strongest element that artists have, is being visible to their audience. Your audience wants to know you. They
Right.
want to know what you're doing. They want to know how you're doing it. They want to see how you're doing it. They want to hear how you're doing it. They want you to be present.
Right.
And with social media, you know what I'm saying, you have the ability to be present 24/7 in their eyes.
Right.
So that, therefore, they like, you know, you should be on social media all the time. We should be able to see what you're doing all the time. And a lot of artists these days, they don't grasp that part, that they have to be on social media, that you have to show your fans who you are. They want to see your rise to the top. They don't want to wait for you to get to the top and you get to bragging about all the shit you got
Right.
now. They want to see you when you ain't had nothing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them, they want to shine now. You know what I'm saying? They want to shine now and actually have it later. You know, and that's the
That's
problem with them. Instead
backwards.
of them just being genuine and being themselves, like, this is who I am, and then let people see the rise to the top.
What what the what's some more, what's some of the other things you feel like artists don't understand about the business of?
Man, that they have to invest in themselves, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, you want to go out here and you want to stay fresh with an outfit, you want to buy a chain and all that, but yet you can't pay for studio time,
Yeah.
you can't pay for the beat. You know what I'm saying? You know, you want people to uh understand that you are a star, right?
Right.
And you, because that's what come out of everybody's mouth, man. I'm a star, man. Ain't nobody like me. Ain't nobody as good as
That's the
me,
first.
man. Once I drop this album, it's gonna go crazy. Like, that's every artist's thoughts, right?
Yeah.
But along the way, you have to have a team. You have to build a team, and your team not only has to believe in you, but at the same time, your team has a life too, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And artists, some artists, I ain't gonna say all artists, some artists don't seem to recognize that part of it. Like, uh, you know, your producer, he probably got kids.
Yeah.
If he ain't got kids, he definitely got some bills.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the stuff y'all recording on or he making your music on, at some point he had to pay for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He might still be paying for it. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know. But when you steadily asking for stuff for free and all that sort of thing, but you coming in the studio and you always got drink, you always got smoke, how do you think people perceive that? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like you ain't got $25 an hour to pay me or $50 an hour to pay me, but yet you got an ounce of weed every time you come to
Every
record.
time.
You know what I'm saying? So all of that is looked at in a certain way. So unless you just got some cats that really wholeheartedly believe in you 100%, and y'all started from day one together, where they started grabbing equipment and you started making your music and all of y'all building together, unless you have that, then it's going to be hard to facilitate a team around you that want to work for free.
Right. Okay. You've been doing this over 20 years. What's some of the things that almost made you quit? Because I know you
Artists.
know.
We just got done talking about them. So, like, okay, so I'm going to tell you the biggest thing that happens in the industry, man. Artists will start from the bottom
Right.
and have nothing,
Mm-hmm.
come to you pretty much begging for help, for assistance. You offer that, you give them that in exchange for a percentage of what may come in the future,
Right.
right? So as a manager, you get, 10%, 15%, 20%, whatever it is you negotiate with the artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Uh, but at the end of the day, you're working for free in the beginning
Right.
because the artist has nothing. You got to help him build up to something. Now, the biggest problem that I've seen over all of these years is the artists start from the bottom with somebody that helps them get to a midpoint or a high point or just even a tier above where they ever started. And as soon as somebody else come along talking a little bit better, showing a little bit better, they jump and ship.
Yeah.
Because they think that they can get there quicker. You know what I mean? So basically it boils down to the loyalty of artists. These days, there is none. We just dealt with that with an artist, man, just recently that we was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say no names, man, because I don't even like to give people that much credit.
I feel that. So, what you think separates a talented artist versus successful artists?
Talented versus successful, money, a budget. Um, with enough money, you can make anybody pop. You know what I'm saying? There's so many avenues out here that if you got the money, then you can put it into the resources that'll blow you up. You know what I'm saying? It happens every day. I know as an artist that people sit around and they say to themselves, how the hell they get on? How the hell they get a record deal? How the hell that song blow up and this, that, and other? Everything is a trained algorithm, man. Everything. You feed something enough, then it's gonna multiply. So to give an example, I know you've been in a position before where you've heard a song for the first time and you like that shit trash.
Yeah.
Right? But then if it's in rotation heavy, one day you find yourself singing the damn hook.
Programmed into your head.
It's programming.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's programmed into you. So it's kind of like, unconsciously, you may not want to commit to it, but subconsciously, you're going to commit to it.
Yeah.
Just because it's repetitive. You know what I mean? And so, that's what separates a talented artist, man, from an artist that just blows up is pretty much the budget, man, and the machine that's behind them.
When you looking at artists, what exactly are you looking for?
What am I looking for, man? I'm looking for the hunger. I'm looking for, because talent can be molded. You know what I'm saying? It can't always be 100% there for people, but it can be molded, it can be guided, it can be transformed. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you run across artists that are they kind of like, they don't know their niche. You know what I'm saying? They don't know their box.
Right.
They just making music. So if you steer them and say, look, man, the stuff that you writing, the stuff that you rapping about, you should be catering to the women. You know what I'm saying? And then you redirect. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to necessarily change somebody's style. You don't have to change their what it is that they're talking about. You just change the way they're talking about it. You know what I'm saying? You just redirect.
I feel you, like, because back in the day I had a label. Well, I still got a label, but we is getting artists is they can make the
GPS signal lost.
hardest. They could literally make the hardest songs, the best songs, but wouldn't say nothing about a woman. I just tell them, like, just act like you talking to a woman, like you trying to meet a new friend or anything, and like just incorporate it into your music a little bit. Oh man, like women is this. I'm like, man, that's the best stuff. But
yeah,
anyway.
Women. What a lot of people may not know is, man, women buy majority of the music.
Yes,
men ain't buying music like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When the last time you seen one of your boys download a song and pay for it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the reality of it. So, you don't have to compromise your integrity. Ain't nobody telling you to, do a new LL Cool J, I Need Love. You know what I'm saying? It's artists like, the Peasies and the different people like that where, basically, man, the chemistry behind it is you just put a nice singer on the hook. You create a mellow R&B-ish rap style type of beat that's got that kind of vibe to it, and you throw somebody on a hook singing something that's a little bit more feminine based. You know what I'm saying? That's more attractive to females. That's what the hook needs to be. And then you create, a melodic song. That's pretty much all it is, man. And You know, you could still. I mean, shit. You got people like DMX and all that shit, man, that had the songs for
Yep.
the women, and they was
Yep.
gritty and grimy as a motherfucker, man.
Yep.
So, you know, it's just all about. But that's another thing that artists that artists find out sometimes about themselves. They
Mm-hmm.
can rap, but they can't write songs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a difference too. That's a big difference maker in success and not success. You know what I mean? Because just because somebody can rap their ass off, don't mean they can write a hit song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where producers, managers, the rest of your team might come in and be able to help you with it.
Yeah.
They might say, "Look, rap on this beat." They go out and they retrieve the hook for you.
Right.
Now the beat got the hook and everything. Now you got the song and the concept, and all you got to do is write the words that fit what you how you want to convey it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now your team has helped you construct a nice hit. Happens all the time. You ain't got to have a ghostwriter for it. You know what I'm saying? You can still be you.
For sure. So, how did you come about starting Klu Management? Was it planned or what?
So, starting out with Klu Management was just kind of it man, it started off as just like kind of like a dream, really, man.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it for like maybe about a year, and then, like I said, I used to have people telling me all the time, man, I need to be a manager. Would I manage them? All that sort of thing,
Right.
and I never took nobody on. Back then, when people were asking and inquiring about it, I never took nobody on. But then I just said, man, one day I'm gonna start a management company. And then it's almost like my whole life, man. I felt like people never had a clue about me, really,
Okay.
and that's where the clue came in. It just happened to be my initials of
Initials,
my
yeah, that's
name,
sweet though.
but you know what I'm saying. That's where the clue kind of came in at, man. And I was just like, I'm gonna name it Klu Management, man. And people used to say, "What do Klu stand for?" And I used to just say, "It's my name." It was never no hell of a explanation for it, like
Mm-hmm.
like King's Love, underground or nothing. It was never nothing like that. It was just really my initials to my name, man. I just wanted to feel like it was something that was solid and something that was mine.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Let's talk about KB the Playmaker. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, KB the playmaker.
All right.
So KB, man, is a guy, man, I came across, man, many years ago, man, 15 plus years to be exact, on Facebook, man. At the time, he had a management company going on and a situation going on. They were him and his partner at the time, Divine D. Shout out to Divine, man. The world is watching.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they were managing an artist by the name of Q, and I came across Q's music, and I kind of followed it to who was overseeing him, and it was KB and Divine, and they were out of Milwaukee at the time, and I was working with an artist back then, and I just I was compelled to just reach out because I saw what they was doing. I liked what they was doing. They actually had their artist with getting ready to debut a video on BT on 106 and Park back then,
Oh.
and it's all on YouTube and everything like that. Q, the young CEO, but he debuted a song about bullying
Mm-hmm.
back then on 106 and Park, when it was Rossi and Terrence J on
Oh
there
yeah, yeah,
hosting.
Rashi. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so I had reached out, man. I had reached out to KB. Told him, man, I wanted to come and meet up with him and everything like that. And me and my now wife, but back then, was my girlfriend. We
Mm-hmm.
we shot down to Chicago for the weekend, and because we were so close, I'm like, man, let me dip over here to Milwaukee and meet these guys in person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm that type of person where, like, I want to meet you, I want to talk
Right.
with you, I want to look you face to face,
Right.
so I can read you. You know what I'm
Feel
saying?
that
I like to
vibe.
read
Yeah.
people, feel the energy and whatnot. So I went and met up with him, man, and shit just it just went well. You know what I mean? We just clicked and vibed out the gate. You know what I'm saying? And then like I traveled with them guys, man. I made trips to California, made a trip to BT,
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff with them guys, man. They just kind of they just kind of just, we just jailed. So fast forward, man. KB and Divine ended up splitting at a certain point, and me and KB just kept rocking. You know what I'm saying? And then one day KB was like, "Look, man, we should just, why don't we join forces and whatnot?" And I'm like, "Well, what we gonna call the company?" And he was like, "We can keep Klu." You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "All right, bet." So we ended up keeping Klu, man, and we just been rocking ever since, man. And that's my right hand man. You know.
How important to you is having a partner, especially one that's on the same page as you?
Man, it's very important, man. And I say that, man, not just because that's my brother, man. I say it because it it allows a person to be able to bounce your thoughts off of people. It allows you to get a different perspective um, from people, because one person you can't do it all. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You can't do it by yourself. So, understanding that, it's just a beautiful thing, because something might hit me and I'll call him and be like, "What you think about this?" And he'd be like, "Nah, man, we can't do that, Kay, because of this and this." Or he'd be like, "Oh shit, that's a good idea. Let's do it." You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. And and then other people that you deal with, everybody have strong suits.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So uh he's a very talented brother, man. He's one of the most ingenious minds I know when it comes to marketing and promotion.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? The stuff that he thinks about, the things that he comes up with, the campaigns that we've ran, and the things that we've done. Um, yeah, it's just like, it's genius. You know what I'm saying? And then, I think the strong suit that I bring to the table is the business ethics.
Okay.
Being able to sit in them rooms and talk with them people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just go anywhere talking any way,
Right.
or acting or looking any way. You know what I'm saying? You got to know when to turn it on and turn it off. So together, we the dynamic duo, man.
That's what's up. All right. Correct me if I'm wrong. With how I'm pronouncing these names, but you work with artists like H1, The Hook,
hmm
JR Music,
hmm
uh, Amazing, Ready the Producer, and 414 Big Frank. What makes your roster different?
So, the people that you just named, a lot of those cats are out of Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few names missing. Shout out to Looney Baby. Shout out to Guapo Chapo. Shout out to 54 Baby Trey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I know some people might say, "Man, what you doing dealing with so many artists out of Milwaukee, and you ain't dealing with the artists out of Detroit and Inkster and things like that?" Well,
Some probably listen. No.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's not no biasness to it. It's really just boils down to one simple fact, man. Me and my partner, man, we was tapped to pretty much create a label for a guy out there named Black, man. Shout out to Blackout Entertainment.
Mhm.
We was tapped to help construct a label.
Okay.
Dude had the money. He had a vision of creating the Midwest Death Row. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we set out to do.
Mhm.
So, he wanted the roster to be, it started off Milwaukee based. We ended up signing a couple artists that, one out of Texas and another one out of Atlanta,
Mhm.
before it came to an end. And it kind of came to an end, not because the owner got killed, but he did get locked up. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Feds came and got him.
Oh.
You know how that story go. When you out there getting that money, they say it's only two endings. You know what I'm saying? Dead or in jail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He ended up in jail, and that's kind of what stopped the wheels of motion with that situation. But we pretty much, man, we built a independent label, man, that was making noise, that was on its way to signing a joint venture situation with Atlantic. Um, but then things just started happening kind of with a domino effect, man. The flagship artist, Looney Baby,
Mhm.
he had just come off a strong record with King Von. We had dropped the record with King Von a little bit after he he was deceased after he had got killed. You know what I'm saying? And then the record took off, man. It was doing millions of views, and Looney Baby ended up going to jail. He was doing street shit too. You know what I'm saying? So he got raided and ended up going to jail and serving a 5-year sentence. So that kind of stalled stuff, and then all the next steps. I don't know how many people have ever been to Milwaukee, but Milwaukee is similar to the D.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's very similar to the D, man. And everybody's out there hustling, man, and like in the streets, man. People they ain't got it, so they trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? And just like any city that's more impoverished than wealthy. You know what I'm saying? So cats was trying to, they was trying to live, man. They was trying to do what they do, and situations started occurring on the horizon, man. And it was kind of we kept everything moving for years, man. Built a full-fledged studio out there. Built a full-fledged record label, man. Like I said, that was getting recognized and getting notoriety. If you look up the different artists, you'll see that they were well on their way. Hundreds of thousands of views to millions of views. You know what I'm saying? Every single one of them. And it was just they could have got there sooner, but because the CEO had money and a lot of it, he turned down a lot of situations. He turned down a lot of deals because he felt like the majors wasn't offering enough. He, like I said, I'm spending that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but he was looking for that. I ain't gonna say that cash money $30 million deal, but he was looking for a nice lucrative situation. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of stalled things too, because it could have been a situation to where where guys could have possibly been out of the streets like they was. And that's why that situation has arrived. But I got my eye on some cats out here, man. You know what I'm saying? There's some cats I like T. Pringle. You know what I'm saying? I like Pringle. You know what I mean? I'm watching him. He working. You know what I'm saying? He doing what he do. So got my eyes on a couple, man. But to be honest, man, I just don't see the work ethic in most. You know what I'm saying? I don't see the drive. I don't see the hunger in most. And then, like I said, the people just got to be able to. They got to put into themselves before they expect somebody to want to put into them.
All right, Eat Her Up with 481 Big Frank. What did that success feel like?
Oh man, so the 414 Big Frank thing was kind of like, to be honest, man, we didn't do a whole lot with that situation. We signed them to Klu Management. The song kind of took off, and that's like one of those situations where people get to talking in the ear, and cats jump ship. And we never been the one to like try to hold people back, man. Try to keep people tied down in situations and whatnot. I've always had the mindset of, if you work with us, man, you shouldn't want to leave. You know what I'm saying? After you see what we do and whatnot, you shouldn't want to leave. And he just had a funny little situation going on. He already had things popping. We didn't make 414 Big Frank. He was already doing his thing. He already had some minimal success off of other songs. He just was at a place where things were kind of moving fast.
He already had motion, so he was just at that place, man, where things was moving so fast that I think he just felt like he needed some kind of management, some help. But then shortly after that, man, Rock Nation stepped in, and Rock Nation is a lot larger entity than us, so they had some people for him and all that sort of thing. So it just kind of transitioned that way. So we that was short lived. You know what I'm saying? That situation with 414 Big Frank was short lived. But he's still the homie, man. We still fuck with him. We actually done booked him for a couple things and whatnot and all that. So, it's all love. It's all good.
Okay. Now this right here, the people might not expect. Mr.letmetryit. How did you pivot into food criticism and podcasting?
Man, so I wish I would have grasped the idea a lot sooner, man. You know, one of the other entities that I do is I have a trucking company, man. And I got a trucking company with cargo vans, and you know, fortunately enough, it's taken me all over the country. You know what I'm saying? Expediting freight and stuff. And yep, I was the one driving and facilitating everything, and I had drivers under me and working with me and different stuff like that since 2017. You know, it's been my thing. So with me going to all these different states and cities and all that, you know, I'm always eating, man. I'm a food connoisseur. I love food, man. So you know, at that point, I was just like, man, I'm seeing all these food critics, man, give their take on these places and these food, and I'm like, well, man, I'm eating everywhere all the time. Like, maybe I should try this. So I tried it, man, and unfortunately, man, it started messing with my health. So I backed up off it. I'm gonna incorporate it into what I'm doing with the recap. With KU and that sort of thing. It'll probably be like a commercial segment where I do a review on a restaurant, or, you know what I'm saying, a food truck, or even somebody on the corner, man, because I stop everywhere. I give everybody a shot, man. Sometimes that's how you find the best food, man. Them little hole in the walls and the little mom and pops and all that, because they cooking from the heart. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna bring it back, man. It's gonna come back real soon, man, and be incorporated into the recap. And you know, the podcast thing, man. I got my feet wet in it a little bit. I only recorded a couple episodes. I put it up, man, on podcast sites and stuff like that. It's still up, but I did like 2 episodes, man. But then I thought about it, and I want to revamp it. I want to revamp what it was going to be about and everything like that. So I'm going to come back with a new podcast. I'm thinking about a new name and whatnot. But for right now, I'm just focused on the recap with KU, which is a vlog, man, that talks about news, man. All news, entertainment, world news, political news, sports news. I talk about all news, man. I just recap what's going on in the world.
What made you start Highly Overrated and Opinionated?
That was the podcast, man, that I did a couple episodes of, and I chose that name at the time because the people who know me, man, they feel like I'm very opinionated, just because I do speak my mind and I'm very blunt with people. And it's not that it's not hate, it's not any of that sort of thing. When it comes to some things in your life, man, from your experiences, you kind of understand the flow of things,
right?
You know, and it's like if somebody is talking to you about something that you're well knowledgeable about, I think as a person you feel like you can give, you know what I'm saying, feedback that constitutes what it is they're addressing. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people will come to me, man, and they'll talk music stuff, ask my opinion on things, and sometimes when you're brutally honest with people, man, they can't handle the truth. You know what I mean? So I'm not one to really sugarcoat stuff. So, you know, and I'm also not a dream killer either.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
just being honest.
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm not just gonna say, dude, you trash. You need to go get you a damn job. I'm gonna put it more in a perspective of give some ideas of what can make it better. You know what I'm saying? And either you listen to it or you don't. You know, most people they walk away with the attitude like, man, he a hater, or he don't know what he talking about, or you know, that sort of thing, and they keep doing what they doing, and they find themselves stagnated in the same place. You know what I'm saying? The next time I see them.
Okay. Do you think it's important for creators to diversify outside of one lane? Diversify. I can't pronounce.
Diversify outside of one lane. Yeah, and that's where I was speaking earlier about transition into social media, becoming a social media presence. You don't have to be like a social media personality per se, but you have to be a social media presence. You got to make your presence felt online, man, because your fans, 99% of them will never get a chance to ever meet you in real life. So you have to give them a perception of knowing you. And that's what social media does. Even though 95% of the people on social media are fake and it's all smoke and mirrors, but nonetheless, they're giving you a perception of them. You know what I mean? And what you think about them is what you think about them. Sometimes you can dissect and read between the lines. Sometimes you can't. You know?
Back to the music. Okay. Do you see yourself as more of a music executive or a cultural influencer now?
I'm still a music executive on my way to being a cultural influencer. I mean, I haven't reached a level of success on the influencer side that that I'm setting out to reach. I do have thousands of followers on different platforms, with the most being about 15,000, which I think is okay, but at the same time, I want to be one of them people with 1 million, just like everybody else, So it's a work in progress, man.
Okay. What do you feel the biggest lie the music industry tells artists?
I think the outlook on wanting to be an artist, man, it gives three things. It gives a person the ability to display their artistry to the world. That's one. It gives the ability for somebody to become rich, and it gives the ability for somebody to become famous. What you see in most instances is somebody becoming famous. The rich part doesn't necessarily come. Do artists make money? Yes. What do most of them do with it? They blow it.
Yeah.
Because they've never had it, so they don't understand the value of it. Or they're in the mindset that it's gonna keep coming. Just because they made one hit, they're gonna make another one. Just because they had nominal success, it's just gonna get bigger. And the industry, man, they chew you up and spit you out. I mean, you only as good as your last hit, like they say. If you ain't making the label no money, you getting dropped. Right. It's just that simple.
Okay. If an artist to you right now from Inkster walked up to you with the talent but no structure, what's the first thing you'll tell them?
I would be first. I'd have to take a look at what they got going on. You know what I'm saying? The hardest thing, man, because so much stuff is social media driven. If they have no social media presence at all, that's probably, the ground. That's where you start at. You know what I mean? I would love to work with talented people, but they also got to be willing to listen. You know what I'm saying? They got to be able to take constructive criticism and feedback from people other than their immediate circle. You know what I'm saying? Because, I've been around, I've seen a lot, I've been a lot of places, I've met a lot of people. And one thing's for certain, you have to be able to evolve and you have to be able to adapt, man. You can't stay stagnated, you can't be stubborn, and you can't not be open to change.
What's one mistake you made early on that you'll never repeat?
Trusting people for who they say they are and not for who I see them to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That would be probably the biggest mistake I've ever made, because you want to give people credit. You know what I'm saying? You want to believe that if somebody tell you they solid, that they solid, but that's not always the case. You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, actually for me, it's not the case.
How important do you feel ownership is in music?
I think it's very important, but it's also important to understand that you'll never be able to keep 100% of everything and still make it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're sitting on an abundance of money and just the money but connections, because in the industry, just because you got money, it don't mean you're gonna make it. It's, relationships are way more valuable than money. And when people in the industry see you just come in with a bag of money, oh, they're gonna rape you.
Right.
They're gonna rape you. They're gonna look at you as the biggest sucker, and everybody gonna want to take a lick.
Okay. If your 18-year-old self was sitting here right now, what would you tell him?
Invest in Facebook and Bitcoin? Nah. That would be one thing if I knew about it, and if I could go back. Just outside investments, man. And you know, I tell myself again, because I told myself at 18, man, don't put all the eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was you know, pursuing music and all of that back then, I always had a job. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been afraid to work, man. Nothing has ever been beneath me as far as work. I done had, before I got, you know, old enough to become an entrepreneur, I mean, I did the Burger King jobs and all of that sort of thing. I done worked at Burger King, Dairy Queen back in the day. I done worked at little parts plants and stuff. Then I got into stuff like, I had my own landscaping service, and that transitioned into restaurants and trucking companies and things of that nature. And you know what I mean? And then, you know, don't be afraid to try new stuff like investing in stocks, you know what I'm saying? And getting familiar, man, and just learning new things. And also, man, you just gotta take your time with things, you know what I mean? Stop rushing to the money. You know, a lot of people want it right now. It ain't always gonna come right now. It ain't gonna come today, it's gonna come tomorrow. You just gotta be ready when it comes, though.
Alright, when it's all said and done, how do you want KU to be remembered?
Oh, man. So, I really don't know how people perceive me now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been called arrogant, I've been called flamboyant, I've been called numerous amount of things, right? What I am is I'm genuine and I'm honest. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't really for no games, man. The people that know me, that really know me, they love me to death, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't really know me, of course you're gonna have your opinion, because you're on the outside looking in where you're supposed to be at. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason I don't fuck with you like that.
Right.
You know, and you may not ever know the reason why I don't fuck with you like that, but yeah, man, I just want them to know, man, that I'm just a outright good dude, man, and I've never not tried to help somebody, man, genuinely. To this day, man, I get a lot of people, man, that approach me about the trucking thing, man. They see what I'm doing, they see how long I've been doing it, and they just be like, man, how do I get into it, man? And I've never been a gatekeeper. I've never been one to not share the knowledge, man. I might not share the wealth with you, but I'll share the knowledge with you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but it's enough out here, man, for everybody to eat, man, when it comes to pretty much everything people are doing. You know what I mean? So there's no reason to gatekeep on information. And with that being said, I do have a trucking ebook that I just finished. It's going to be available online soon, where you can download the PDF, and it's a start to finish, man. It shows you how to get going all the way to from getting started and getting everything registered and set up to landing your first contract. You know what I'm saying? So you look out for that, man. I'll be promoting that soon, and you know, it's just one of them things. But I just wanted to know I'm a genuine dude, man. If you need to ask me something, man, don't be afraid to approach me, man. Holla at me.
Okay, what advice would you give somebody young trying to start off in the music game?
Get you a try to get you a team together. When I say a team, there's a couple elements, man. You need to be able to handle visuals. So you need your camera guy. You need somebody that can document your journey. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's shooting your videos for you, whether it's shooting your day-to-day commentary and everything like that for social media. But you need to get somebody that can go along for the ride with you, man, and document the journey. Then you don't need a manager right off. because for one, you got to have something to manage.
Mm-hmm.
So you start with your basics, which is your visual guy, your visual person, and you start off with your music person, somebody that can help you craft your project, whether that's a certain producer, whether that's a certain writer, whatever it is that you lack in when it comes a certain engineer, because some people like certain engineers because you like a certain sound. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you need to establish that go-to engineer. You need to establish that go-to beat maker, because that beat maker is going to help craft your sound. Just like when you jump on YouTube now and beat makers put up beats and it'll say Lil Durk type beat, Rod Wave type beat. You want somebody to say so-and-so type beat one day.
Right.
And that's how you know that you've crafted your own sound, because now they want to mimic your sound and your style. So I would say, first off, get you a visual person, get you a music person that's going to help you along with your journey, that got a studio or something and do production and whatnot. Sometimes that's two different people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get you a producer, you get you an engineer, you get you a visual person. Then third, you have to put together some sort of budget.
Right.
If it's a recommendation from me, before you get started, man, and drop a project and put a project out there, you need at least $2,500 to $5,000. That's a good starting point. Now, don't be under the impression that $2,500 is gonna make you a star, because it's not, unless you just happen to have a song that go viral. But going viral is like somebody hitting the big game.
Right.
It only happens every blue moon. You know what I'm saying? Just because you upload it on YouTube don't mean it's about to go crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just up on YouTube, and you'll go back to YouTube a week later and that boy got one view, the one from you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to have some sort of budget, man, that's gonna start the ball rolling, that's gonna start the chain of events happening. And so at that point, man, once you have your producer, once you have your engineer, once you have your visual guy, and you actually have some product now, you got you some songs, you got you a video, you got you some visuals for social media. That's when you have that little budget put together, and then you reach out to somebody that has knowledgeable enough information to set you on that right track on where to put that money. You know what I'm saying? How you amplify what it is you getting ready to launch.
Okay. What's next for you?
Oh man. Right now I'm at a stage, man, where I'm really betting on me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I got a few situations that Klu Management is consulting, but we're not directly overwhelmed with day-to-day operations ever since the whole blackout situation happened. Now we're just kind of like, we're doing marketing and promotion for people. We're taking on projects like that. We're doing more consulting than we are managing. I don't even really want to manage nobody at this time. I just kind of want to take a break from it. I've had somebody under contract for at least the last 10 years, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to, man, I'm focusing on like the recap with KU, you know what I'm saying, my vlog. I'm focusing on revamping the podcast, you know what I'm saying? And I also have an AI artist, man, that I'm working on.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm dipping my toes in the water of AI, and I think that's very important that a lot of people get familiar with AI, because it's not going nowhere. You can complain as much as you want, you can cry as much as you want, it ain't going nowhere. So you either get down or lay down, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I've gotten heavy into AI, and so I want to test the theories. I want to test what I've learned and put an AI artist out there,
Right.
and see if I can blow up an AI artist and make him a star.
Okay. So, is there anything else you want to touch on that we didn't touch on, or anything you want to ask me or whatever?
Man, what you got you into what you doing?
So, like me, I'm a person, bro. I just like to keep moving. You know what I'm saying? And I always like this ain't only a channel that I'm gonna interview people on. I'm gonna talk, do a little motivation, but you know, I really like to hear people's stories, and then like, you know, I be sitting around at home, I be thinking, I wonder what such and such up to, or whatever, and then I be at home bored, getting in my own mind or whatever. So I said, man, I can actually do this podcast thing and talk to people. Like, I kind of like to talk sometimes, but I don't like to talk. So like, if the energy felt, you know, you'll hear me go or whatever. But
Right.
like, if I don't, you know, but you know, I got into it and I wanted people to ride with me and kick it, because I done had people in the car with me kicking. I'm like, well, let's document it and just see if people want to come on. And basically, that's how I started.
I think it's a good concept, man. I actually, I thought about it at one time. I know me and you, we were talking off camera. We talked about how you, when you got the thought of it, you went on YouTube and you seen like the Cadillac Chronicles.
Yeah.
With dude ride around in a Cadillac. For those of you who not familiar, but he does a similar thing, and he rides around in a Cadillac and does interviews. When I saw that as well, like, you know, I got a classic car, I got a convertible, and I had thought about that same kind of concept.
But you
know
can
what I'm
do
saying?
it though. We can, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then especially like you have some podcasts going on already. Incorporate it all. One day you in the car, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how I'm looking at it with myself. It's gonna be times where I might not be able to get in the car this day, and I might have to sit at a restaurant or in my studio or something like that.
Right.
But 95% of the time I will be in the car though.
See, right now though, man, you know, what I'm lacking right now is time. You know what I'm saying? It's like we never get enough time in a day. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, from where I'm at, man, because I'm in that beginning stages too with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? To recap, all that sort of thing is brand new, and you know, I'm working on constructing my team for all of that. Right now, I do it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may do it all.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the editing, the recording, you know, everything. And so, you know, and like you said, you know, the recap has several entities. You know, I do a recap in my truck. You know what I'm saying? That's the recap go, and then I'll do the recap. You know what I'm saying? With my setup. So, you know, doing that, and that's why I'm saying, like, incorporating the food critic thing and reviewing food. That's gonna be like a commercial interview, you know, interruption. You know, in the middle of my podcast and stuff, I'll do a restaurant review or food review. So, you know, I'm figuring out how to streamline everything, how to make it all work without making it that much more work, if you know what I mean. So it may come a time where, you know, you might catch an episode or two where I'm riding in the car, but for the most part, man, I'm gonna leave that to you.
But for sure, man, I appreciate you for being on here, man. I'm really honored, and I'm looking forward to getting you on here later on down the line. But one thing I forgot to ask you, like I ask every person I get on here, what gets you in a groove? You know, the truck is the gorilla's groove, so what gets you in a groove?
Man, at the end of the day, man, I just I love positive things that's happening, man. That's what gets me in the groove, man. I love to see people doing positive things. I like to see people growing. I like to see people progressing, man, and making things happen.
Right.
That's kind of what a motivation for me, man. I've never been the type of person that's jealous of anybody, but I have been inspired and motivated by plenty. You know what I'm saying? I done been in some rooms with some of your favorites. You know what I mean? When it comes to sports and entertainment and all that. I mean, at the end of the day, John Moran is family. You know what I'm saying? So it's different things like that. Like, I've seen things from all levels.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've met Jay-Z. You know, hung out with Too Short, Rakim. Just people from all statures, you know what I'm saying? From the sports to the entertainment down to the music. I done been around quite a bit, man, and I've met more people than y'all probably think. I've hung out with more people than y'all probably think, and that's what really gave me the realization of how this industry really works. You know what I'm saying? To be able to sit here in front of this camera for y'all, man, and tell y'all, don't believe everything you see, man, and only half of what you hear, because most of these people ain't living how you think they living, and they ain't who you think they are. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day.
Right. For sure. I appreciate you for joining us, man. And
Thank you for having me,
see
bro.
you soon. All right, y'all. Wrap up episode of the Gorillas Groove. My guy KU. Y'all have a good one.
Love.